This concert is dedicated to the South Coast piano teacher Wendy Blunt. Wendy lived in Wollongong in New South Wales, and to her many friends and students, she was kind, generous, inspiring, and supportive. So, cheers to Wendy, and thank you so much for spreading your joy and light in this world.
South Wales meets
New South Wales. Welcome to this recital presented by Celebrating Australian Music, otherwise known as CAM for short. In this recital, you'll hear works by 8 composers. 4 of these are from New South Wales and 4 are from South Wales. We're delighted to be collaborating with Jeremy Hugh Williams on this project, the Welsh baritone, much celebrated for many things, but also his expertise on Welsh folk music, so ideally matched, because he will be singing these songs in the original Welsh language. I wrote to 3 other Australian composers, either born or living in New South Wales, inviting them to set 2 Welsh folk songs of their choice, and was delighted with their response. So you'll be hearing today world premiere performances of song settings by Alex Palmer, myself, John Martin, and Andrew Schultz. Jeremy will be introducing the South Wales composers, and the Australians will introduce their own works via a short video.
Hi there, my name's Alex Palmer and I'm an Australian composer from Sydney in New South Wales. And I also have a keen interest in the language, history and culture of Wales. So this project, which combines the music of Wales and New South Wales, was a pleasure for me to approach. I've set 2 Welsh folk songs for the performances, Peth Mawr I Di Cariad and I Bardd ar Gwcw. Both of these are not particularly well known Welsh folk songs. And so in examining the text of these, I was struck most by the effortless combination of folk-like expression that you might expect from songs like these, as well as a really casual playfulness, which is a bit more unusual. And I've tried to bring out both of these aspects in my short settings of the songs, which are dedicated to the wonderful Wendy Hiscox and Jeremy Hugh Williams, who have led this project and whose collaboration has been invaluable to me in writing my contribution to it. So thanks very much for listening, and I very much hope you enjoy the performances and my settings of these songs.
Cariad Pannella Valdrum, Peth Garod Gwrynlawer, Llefydd I ffwrdd, Peth Garod I Fain yn y geiriau fan had, a mam yn garedig am Garod I am gwlad. Tu mi wic, ram di dwlad I dol, fad y dillad I dol. Galda gladi at rodin hin an bryd, cyn cedi briodi, bydd glada pi an wir, rof dorchen ar rowyn efo charreg uwch da men, cyn cedi farsiodd gorfyn, wel gad arfen i'r wen. Tu mi wec, ram di dwlad I dolfad y dillad I dol. Or cuckoo, wach lwyd las, llebi os di cyd, mor hir heb ddychwelyd, ti fi os dyn fyd. Mor hir heb ddychwelyd, ti fi os dyn fyd. Fa amser I ganu yw ebrych am mai, a hanner me hefyn chwi wyddwch bob rai. A hanner me hefyn chwi wyddwch bob rai.
I knew I was drawn to Welsh lullabies, but I was looking for something that was a little bit different. And so in setting Si Hui Hui, I've set a rather dark lullaby. And the melody itself is quite old, but the words are newer. They were written by a Welshman who travelled to America to work in the quarries, where he witnessed slaves being sold on the market. He decided to use his voice for the benefit of the anti-slave movement, rewrote the words to Si Hui Hui. So now the angle is more a slave singing a lullaby to her baby, knowing that she's about to be sold on the market the next morning. So it's quite a different angle. Now, this particular lullaby, it sort of struck a chord because here we have a Welshman who travelled to America, who had a social conscience, and he used his voice to protest. Now, this sort of brought back memories of my own grandfather. He was born in Bridgend, and like our other Welshmen, he travelled to America to find work. He lived in Montana, and here is a photo, an old photo of him on horseback in Montana. He married my grandmother, and they had their first child, which unfortunately died. The winters in Montana were very cold. So they made the decision to move on to New Zealand, and then from there, they came to Australia. And they settled eventually in Wollongong, New South Wales, which, as you can see from this footage, is a beautiful place to live. Unfortunately, he went back down in the mines, but he campaigned for better rights for the miners. And there is the family story that he once got up on the podium to, further his campaign and was hauled off by a couple of policemen and thrown into prison for the night. And evidently said to my grandmother, "You wouldn't have missed the experience for the world." They were probably very kind to him while he was in jail. Anyway, so here we have again a Welshman with a social conscience and a voice. So that's Si Hui Hui. As a contrast, I wanted something lively, cheerful. So hence we have Lazy Robin, which is essentially a nursery rhyme. It talks about my tidy house, this lovely tidy house where everything is perfect. The wind blows past the doorway in the morning. All you have to do is just sort of lean a little bit this way, look out the door to a beautiful view of the sea. Content am I in my tidy house. So in a way, a very innocent song, but I was interested to hear a different interpretation of the words, which went something like this, okay, so everything's perfect for you. You could want no more. It's a perfect world you've created. You're very comfortable and you're very happy. But is it okay to say everything's all right with me? Who cares what's going on in the world around me? So, like a lot of nursery rhymes, there's sometimes a little bit of a dig going on at some deeper level. Okay, hope you enjoy these settings. Thank you.
Yes, the oldest Welsh composer, I suppose, and one of the most well-known is Grace Williams, born in Barry in 1906. She died in 1977. And I've chosen two Welsh folk songs. The first is Y Gwydd, which translates as the loom or the woods. And it's a sad song, very nostalgic and poignant. And then the next one is Hina Blentyn, which is a lullaby. And then a slightly older composer, Alun Hodinot, and he wrote two songs from Glamorgan, or rather I should say he arranged two songs from Glamorgan, because all the tunes that you will hear today are original, traditional Welsh folk tunes that have been arranged by classical composers. So these two songs from Glamorgan, from the old Glamorgan, which stretched from the border of Wales and England, if you like, almost, to past Swansea. So it is a very large county in the olden days. And the first one is Pontypridd mae Mwriad, and that translates as in Pontypridd is my intention. And the poet goes on to say, in Pontypridd is my love. And the second song that Hodinot arranged from Glamorgan is Farewell fo'i Llangyfelach Lon, farewell to fair Llangyfelach. And this is the young man saying farewell to his homeland in search of pastures new and adventures to come.
cascadevam lent in tlus, cascadevam lent in tlus, que gascitana borra, que gascitana borra. Cascadevam lent in tlus, cascadevam lent in tlus, cascadevam lent in tlus, que gatti panna mannat, que gatti panna mannat. survives on carrier soon. A Listiones satellite dragoons. La 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 la. O solarai puionaeth a gan. Te buchul mai merch machlan, sydd yn gweddio nos a dydd. Am yw hanwyl gariad gael dod yn yr hyd. La la la
Hi, John Martin is my name, and I'm talking to you from the lovely town of Moss Vale in New South Wales, about 2 hours south of the capital, Sydney. Thank you so much to Wendy, to Jeremy, and everybody else involved in this project, and I just hope that my settings are pleasing for people. I love the folk songs of Wales. I think they're the most beautiful folk songs, and I grew up on quite a few of them. I wish you all well, and have a look at our beautiful landscape here. It's maybe not quite as dramatic. The magpies are singing to you, and it's a crisp autumn morning. So bye for now, and Godspeed.
skipar Dagud rosa bedin agor Fal-di-raddle-diddle-dal Fal-di-raddle-diddle-dal Tu-ram-di-ro-ram-di-raddle-diddle-dal Da-kur-delin, da-kur-tannai Tu-ram-di-ro-ram-di-raddle-diddle-dal Beth-uib-gweth eb-nebi-u-chwarai Tu-ram-di-ro-ram-di-raddle-diddle-dal Da-kur-ven-wen-oin-is banul Beth-uib-gweth eb-gaile-mehu Fal-di-raddle-diddle-dal Fal-di-raddle-diddle-dal Tu-ram-di-ro-ram-di-raddle-diddle-dal
Hello, I'm Andrew Schultz. My Welsh folk song arrangements are of two of the most well-known lullabies, A Hyd Nos, All Through the Night, and Sual Gan, Lullaby. Jeremy Williams suggested I arrange these two songs when I mentioned I was keen to write something using Welsh lullabies or other slow, gentle folk songs. So in A Hyd Nos, I've used a gentle, pulsing background figure in the piano part, creating a continuous and slow-moving rocking pattern which eventually slips away, as if drifting off to sleep. In A Hyd Nos, the foreground is given to the vocal line, which is unchanged from the well-known traditional version. In Sual Gan, likewise, I've retained the original vocal part intact from this beautiful melody. But in this song, the piano part has short interludes between low, strumming, harp-like chords that support the voice. In my arrangements, both songs have a slightly modal feel to them, as you'll hear. I hope you enjoy my two Welsh lullabies.
William Matthias arranged several folk songs, and I've chosen two. The first is Torn y Melinydd, which is the miller's song, in which the poet tries to seduce Mari by boasting of his belongings and the things that he has on his farm. And then a sadder song, a song about a youth looking back on his childhood, and this is called Hobed or Hilion. And finally, to a living Welsh composer, Nathan James Dearden, who is in his late 20s. He is a composer with remarkable talents. I have championed him for many years now, and this is from a collection of 4 songs, again of Glamorgan, that I commissioned in 2019, and I've chosen 2 of these. Can y Cathreiniwr, which is the ox driver's song. In Glamorgan, they used to sing to drive the oxen in the 19th century. And Hw Mlan, you will hear at the end of the verses, and that's what they used to sing in the fields. And the second song is Can o Ogwr. This is a song of Ogmore.
Caceres, a melyn newydd sbon, a chael wartheg blithion yn porri ar y bron. Welidi mari fach, welidi mari fach, welidi mari anwyl. Mae gennyf drolach y ffil, a meryn bachan twt, a deg o ddefad dewion a mochyn an y cwt. Welidi mari fach, welidi mari fach, welidi mari anwyl. Mae gennyf gwbwr corel, a llawn o lestri te, a dresen an y gegin a phopeth an y le. Welidi mari fach, welidi mari fach, welidi mari anwyl. Dram chwaer fo'i hos gan urban hedig agar han I der röri sad a fetar guada we war mahu ke samwad gena khapin kun swedis ti war bar hay der riskel koid ni khes a riod vet kroisa mahu Trifels in lagen grottin, yw gwraig y ti yn werthin. Ar crochan bach yn berwyn ffrwd, a chon y cwd o bwdyn, mahw. Trifels in gas a lledwydd, yw hwch a ywc mewn gwenydd. At gorgwan yn torri ton, a ffach o gron i'r thawydd, mahw. Trifedd an haf yn abod, dyn derwan a diwarnod. Y brenin goi ar dydd yn troi, a dyn yn ddoi wyn y bod. Mahw, mahw. Ceilio cochan canu, mae'n brif i'n mynd a'i gwni. Mae tyrfafaeth yn mynd i'r gwaith, ar fiwch ar llo yn brefi, wmlaen. Barrier wrth a sgidbar, yn erbyn i me agor. Mae carro'r cyn fy ngalw hi, nech ysgaf ddim yn rhagor, wmlaen. Sy'n weithio, dros dithau mali adro. Con brecwas diolch mewn dipyn bach, a bar a conig yno. Wmlaen.
CAM has been most fortunate since its very beginnings to have had the sponsorship of Wirrapang, the publisher of Australian music. And you too can play an important role in supporting the work of CAM. Any donation, no matter how small, does make a difference. It not only supports performances of Australian music, but it gives opportunities for UK and Australian musicians to perform together. So do click on that donation button after this presentation, or you can visit our website at www.celebratingaustralianmusic.com.